a nice segue. So let me just get this out of the way. Welcome to Overwatch. Welcome to Coaching the Many. Welcome to another episode. We're going to be talking about Zarya today, and we're also going to be talking about Zarya with the backdrop of dealing with toxicity, dealing with how to deal with people who are not cooperative, how to deal with people who don't necessarily want to play with you guys, how to deal with all sorts of bits and pieces. Like, there's a million and one things going on in this game. It was sent to me by Super General Guy, who is a sub, but the actual player is his brother. So as you can see, 2K rating, low gold, high silver. But he wrote this huge wall of text that basically outlines that they were, and I think there's a bit of Sombra in this gameplay as well, if I remember this one right. But this is a game that's sort of defined by people trolling, people giving up, and then people winning despite the trolling, and so people stop giving up, and all this kind of stuff. And it's how to deal with that, how to mentally sort of not get super tilted and super upset with that, and how to handle people being upset, I guess. So, let's move you out the way, chat. Bye, chat. Bye, chat. Welcome. Hey, Night Owl as well. Oh, beautiful. 5 months? 35 months, Night Owl 4? Much love, my man. Alright. So Ian's locks of Sombra, don't panic. I think this is where I got confused when I first looked at it, because it was like, oh, well, it's Coaching the Many Zarya, but he picks Sombra first, but it does end up swapping. Zarya is an interesting hero. Zarya very worth mentioning at the moment in the meta, coming up strong. She got a huge amount of buffs with the change to her ultimate. So it's kind of interesting. So, no please, this won't work. Duo Q locks in the double snipers. And that's a problem. That's a problem, right? Actually, do they play Sombra on defense here? I think I only watched like the second half. I think we start on the Sombra on defense, but this is why like the overarching theme is toxicity. And so the game begins with this. So let's even listen to this.
That's fucking shit for that comp. Would be nice.
Gotcha. Hey, hello guys, me Hanzo, hello.
So we got two comedians. I call these people comedians. They're basically trying to be like, the way I imagine these guys is like, oh, I'm gonna be on a wacky YouTube video. Like, that's how I imagine these guys, what they're trying to do. Or, you know, oh, I watched someone do a stupid voice on a YouTube video and blah 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 blah, and it was really funny. And it's like, please change the stupid comp. Honestly, like the core three, this is pretty typical. Sombra, first point Volskaya is fucking strong. Sombra defense on Volskaya is really strong. And Sombra for like 3 minutes, yeah. So the Sombra is really powerful here. Really, really good pick. It's just that these two have decided to lock in double snipers and then act as comedians.
I think Anna is just trolling.
People are trying to negotiate. I think Anna's just trolling. It's like...
maybe soldier into another tank.
And it's just like, yeah, these guys have no interest in communicating or cooperating. And the way that I try and explain this to people is pretty simple. Also, I don't like starting with this health pack. This health pack is never, like, this health pack is so seldom used that it's actually not worth starting on the hack. We'll talk about that in a second. When people very clearly have no, the danger here is that you start engaging with these people, because what these people are doing is they are very clearly looking for attention, right? They've picked two heroes as a duo queue that they know is going to completely skew the team comp, right? The team comp is completely fucked at this point, because you have Hanzo and Widow, which as a combo is kind of strong, but the moment the enemy team runs any kind of dive, you lose. Like, it's so easy to counter. Super easy to counter. If the enemy team has any kind of tank, you're just kind of done. And so... they're looking, and then they're just poking at other people, saying, oh, the team comp shit, the team comp shit, the team comp shit, you need to change, you need to change. So they're clearly just poking and looking for antagonism. So engaging with them and like getting into a debate with them, completely the wrong idea. And you've just got to kind of write them off, and this is where game mentality comes into play. And what I want to talk about mostly in this is how you deal with this in the long term. How do you deal with this kind of stuff in the long term? Because the fact is this, right? People were expecting, you know, Season 6, oh, Season 6 is going to change everything, you know, oh, Season 6, all the flamers are going to be banned and reported and gone. And they're all just out. And Then they start playing placements in Season 6, and suddenly there's flamers and trolls and whatever. There's bad people in the game, and they're causing problems, and they're causing people upset. The way to think of this is not like, oh man, if only these people didn't exist. The way to think of it is this. These people are inevitable, okay? I am nearly 30 years old. I've been playing competitive online games for the last 10, actually probably the last 14 years, I would say. It's always been an issue. It's always been an issue. Always, 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 always. We'll talk about the Sombra gameplay in a moment, but let's finish this thought. Always been a problem. These people will exist no matter how good the reporting system is, no matter how good the systems are. You will get games where people do not want to cooperate, do not want to play, and just fuck you over. The way I deal with this is pretty simple. Okay, first things first, you've got to try and take a step back mentally from the game. And you've got to just take the thought that, hey, if I'm encountering these people, and other people say that, oh, the Overwatch community is so toxic, the Overwatch community is so bad, people throw so often. It means other people are encountering them too. So it's not just you. Okay? So sure, you've met these people, and you might lose this game. You might lose this round, you might lose this game, because these people start throwing. But you've also won games probably off the back of this happening on the other team. So that sort of takes the sting off it somewhat, and I know it's frustrating, and you've got to sort of understand that, yeah, I'm frustrated, I'm annoyed, I'm not happy with it. I'll report it, like, absolutely report it, but it's a fact of the online gaming community. It's a fact of the how stuff works. How these people interact. Some people will go into ranked games, and you know, I read 4chan. Like, V is one of the most read websites that I go on. Okay, I read the shit out of that website. People hate Blizzard on that website. They hate Overwatch. They hate anything popular. And people on that forum occasionally will post, "Oh yeah, no, I go into rank and I just throw because I know it tilts the shit out of people, and I know it annoys people. I know it frustrates people." Don't do this either. This just hurts you way more. Just learn to endure it. So what you learn is that these people exist, and that the faster you learn to just sort of accept them as a thing that exists, and then section them off almost in your mind as something completely outside the game, the easier it gets. Because what you've got to do then is, okay, you've lost this one game, but you've played 20 games in a day. Or, you know, that's a pretty extreme example. But then the other 19 are okay. So, what does that one game really matter? And you might have won 2 games because of toxic people on the enemy team. So on, so on, so on, so on, so on. People like this, who very, very clearly throw, and then just, like, shout at people in chat and stuff like that, like, you know, this kind of behavior, report them immediately, and then just play your game. Just play Overwatch. You can even leave chat at this point if, you know, it's very clear that there's no value going on in team chat, no value going on in the communication. Just leave. And just play your game. Try and refine your gameplay in some way. Try and get something out of that game. Just try and play and have fun with it. Because at the end of the day, you're playing Overwatch for fun. If you're not having fun, then what's the point? And if you learn to do this, and learn to sort of view things as like a macroscopic scale, instead of just individual games, like, what this guy's doing is sort of not internalizing that these people... So, let me even... actually, if I do it like... this work? If I click here... No. It won't work. Let me do it like this then. Where are you? Monitor capture. Like this. So... like, what this guy's doing, this Brother 2 guy is doing, he's engaging with these people. He hasn't realized that these two people, this duo queue, you know, these ass clowns over here, have just done this to be disruptive in the game. They've just done this to be obnoxious. They insta-lock 2 snipers and start shouting abuse at the team. They are not worth it. They are not worth getting frustrated over. You just got to learn to shrug and go, okay, this is one of those games. Play your game. Maybe even practice a hero you don't play too much. Move on. The second you let it sort of bother you like this, A, it's sort of a positive feedback for the people trolling, and B, it gets to you as well. Like, when you start complaining, if you start getting angry about it, you're just going to make yourself angrier and angrier, and they're going to try and make you angrier and angrier, and so it's just not worth it. And I know it's easy to say, but it's worth trying to practice. If you see someone throwing, trolling, getting upset, like, the best you can do is maybe, come on, man. Like, we just want to play a game and have fun. Okay, and then if they continue trolling, you say, okay, whatever, and then you mute them, report them, move on with your life. There's too many things in life, like, there's too much important shit to worry about without having to worry about shitheads like these. You know? Don't give them that gratification. Don't give them that, I don't know, result, I guess. Position, fit screen. There we go. So yeah, very quickly, let's just go over the Sombra gameplay, just because, you know, we're also here to learn how to play Overwatch. So commentary for first point Volskaya. This health pack is not actually very important in the grand scheme of things. So the issue with first point Volskaya is that pro teams that use the Sombra defend very differently to how most teams defend using the Sombra. But this health pack is not important. This health pack is not important at all. The only people that tend to use this health pack are like Tracers, Genji, stuff like that. Stuff that can actually move very quickly away from the front and then pick this up, but otherwise this is not useful. If you do want a more useful health pack, the one that's over here, that's actually a lot more useful. That's actually a lot more used, I guess. If the enemy team is getting held at the choke, then they're going to fall back towards that one. But honestly, you're better off starting hacking a health pack more internal. Either the one just like left of where most people hold, so skip forward, skip forward, skip forward. Let's just do it manually, like so. So this health pack that we end up hacking here, the one in the small room, this health pack would be a good one to start on. Hack it. Like, you can stand about here, hack this, throw your translocator back, and then run out stealthily. Appear behind the enemy team, shoot, 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 build up ultimate charge, take some damage, and translocate back, and then hack the health pack that, you know, is either in the small room or either in the large health pack in the point, well, in the area next to the point. Like, as long as you have this health pack, and the health pack sort of further along this way, that's fine. You can also, if you're feeling dirty, try and hack the health pack in the garage, but it's honestly not really worth it, because the amount of times your team is actually over there is pretty limited. These health packs definitely see by far the most traffic. I would also say that in low gold and silver, you're going to be very hard pressed to get a lot out of Sombra, especially if you cannot confirm kills on your own. You're going to have to do a lot of heavy lifting on your own, because people are not going to use the health packs, basically. Like the fact that we're swapping target. Okay, we move back, we take the health pack. So the important thing here, to me, is A, we should throw our translocator to the left. Like, you should think about, we should be setting objectives for ourselves. So, okay, we're taking this health pack. Enemy team is advancing in. The thing with Sombra is, if you're fighting Winstons, make sure you have a distance from where the Winston is fighting. If you're near Winston, you will never be able to hack him. If you cannot hack him, he can always escape. It's always a difficulty. Same with Divas. Make sure you have some distance. So if we throw the translocator in this room over here, okay, that sets us up to take the health pack when we use it. And it also sets us up to maybe establish some distance if we need it from the Winston, so we can hack him. And that means he can't leave. He's prey to Reinhardt. He's prey to Roadhog. It actually sets us up very nicely for the kill. The worst thing we could do is just like stand here. And you see, we throw our translocator over into an area where we don't actually get to do anything anymore. We're stuck. We're kind of shit out of luck here. Enemy team is advancing in. Our team has nothing. Okay. Not enough healing, someone switch. No one's used our health packs anyway. And then we're gonna hold a second. And you can see Brother 2 is tilting his tits off. Like, he's just being angry at this is not good. Okay. When we're setting up a defense for this point, first things first, take this health pack. Second thing second, set yourself up to take this health pack. These are the two health packs that are most commonly going to be used, most commonly relevant. This one is just easy to fight around. If your team knows what they're doing, like the Roadhog can just set up in this room here and like fight around this area. Like this space over to this side. If the Roadhog just uses this pillar for cover, throws hooks out, and anytime he's in trouble, runs in here and uses the health pack, you're going to get EMP so fucking fast. This health pack is mostly a denial for the enemy team, so they can't use it because they tend to use it when they're making an attack. That's going to build up your EMP nice and quickly, and then you're going to be able to get something done with it. The worrying thing for me here is that, like, we run out and we don't even take a health pack, I think. Like, we don't place a translocator, we don't take a health pack, we just sort of run out and then hope that we're not going to die. Like, this is suicide. This kind of stealthing doesn't work past a certain point, and they have a Genji as well. It's very likely they just follow you down and hunt you down and kill you.
Anna, can you switch to tank maybe?
And you see this person is just trolling again. Anna, can you swap to tank? Let's hack the diva. Nice, good job. Again, just put it out of your mind. Just like this would be a good opportunity to think, okay, can I flip both Sombra? Can I flip both health packs and build my EMP very quickly? Can I do both of these things? Let's put our translocator down. Like we should have a translocator somewhere. It's always like we should have a translocator next to a health pack ideally, and then we look to do stuff. That way we have... It's like playing Tracer. If you're playing Tracer and you don't have a recall, you change how you play, right? If you're playing Sombra, you don't have a translocator, then you got to change how you play. You can't really do much. You have to be super careful. Enemy team just pushes in. Your team not doing stellar. I'm gonna lie.
Be careful, guys. You got us in outside. Oh my gosh, you knew. You need to use revive, not hacking.
What are you doing?
Don't you do Sombra?
Don't contest, maybe? No?
And see, like, these people... Like, this is where you just mute them.
You're such noobs.
Hopefully they were reported at the end as well. Like, it's not even... This is what always disappoints me. It's not even good trolling. Like, Sombra, why didn't you res? LOL! Ah, so witty! No, you're not. You're boring. It's stupid. It doesn't... No, what? Like, it's not even funny.
No,
it's not even witty. It's not even clever.
Don't get tilted.
Oh, it's just a game. There you go. So yeah, you just report them. Just mute them, report them, move on with your life. Hey!
Just
Help
got a
here.
new job after 3 weeks unemployed. Feels good, man.
Congratulations, man.
Probably still on the watch list here.
Congratulations. Hopefully you have a good time in your new job. Or at least not a terrible time. I know it's work. Work is work.
We all need someone we can trust, Jack.
There's no job on the planet that doesn't feel like work, trust me. Okay, so now we're on to the Zarya. Miserable defense, but we're playing Zarya. Zarya is a very good hero at low ranks, I find. She's very, very powerful for carrying. They have an Orisa and a Torbjorn. We should have a good time here. Oh, so much charge. As long as Reinhardt keeps moving forward, we should be okay. Smash through the barrier. Just keep pushing. The Roadhog's a slight issue. The Symmetra barriers are actually shockingly helpful here as we start advancing forward, doing a shit ton of damage. We're on full charge. This is what we don't want to do. Like, it's working because honestly, it's working because of the Symmetra. Bizarrely, the Symmetra barrier is actually really good against Orisa and Torbjorn. They make it very, very difficult for them to get a lot of damage out because the barriers just fly towards them. They can't shoot through it. And so it's actually absorbing a shitload of damage where you guys are putting punishment into Orisa. Add that, and I think the Mercy's blasting, which also I think is helping somewhat because the Soldier 76 is actually doing all the healing here. All the healing, especially that you need. So you can just blast through it. But honestly, what the Reinhardt should be looking to do is just push through here. Because the way that their team comp, the enemy team comp is actually meant to work is that they have Orisa and Torbjorn, then they have a Roadhog, and it's like no team comp in the world will be able to stand up to that. If they had a Bastion in there as well, like, you can't out-tank that. So the fact that you're out-tanking it and it's working is bizarre, but this Reinhardt needs to be pushing forward. Now that they get displaced and the turret goes down again, we can just keep on moving forward. Fortunately, we don't have a barrier, but we have infinite charge. And this should actually be a pretty easy time for us. The worst thing you could do here is actually back up. Like, especially if the turret's like over here, then why don't we just fight in this area or push into the garage instead of backing up into where the Orisa and Torb are set up. The thing with Orisa and Torbjorn is that they are immobile. The one thing you could do also, because and it looks like we're about to do this, because we saw most of the enemy team over in this area, we can actually just push through this, which is honestly something that we should probably look to do. Yeah. Like, I don't like the fact that we stopped moving forward. Why did you stop moving forward here? This is always what worries me when people play against Orisa. It's movements like this. Why are you backing away? Is there any benefit at the moment to pulling back compared to going forward? Is there any benefit at all? Not really. Like, if you keep going forward, you'll go through the barrier and you'll be able to do stuff about it. She can't do shit. She's just put down the barrier. She has no cooldown. So, just go through it. Lead the charge. Soldier 76 is already in position to follow you as well. If you go through it, Like okay, and then she gets the Hulk, okay, and then just aggress. Like, why are we backing away? Backing away from the Orisa is what the Orisa wants. We are stronger than her right now. We are on 100% fucking charge. We are the most powerful hero in the game. Zarya, by definition, is overpowered when she is in this level of charge. Like, she has to be. By design, she is actually overpowered. Free mercy kill, nice. Now we can just stay on the point. On the point. Prologue's not actually going to do anything. It's a free kill. We have a grav. And hey, we're about to sort of take this entire match by storm. The McCree's had to drop down. We didn't have to deal with him. Like, we just had to basically ignore him and survive him long enough for him to realize that he has to drop down at that point. So he drops down, you kill him. Nice and clean. There's something psychological about the shield? Yeah, there is. That's Orisa's shield. There's something weird that happens to people of like, I can't walk through this, and it's like, you fucking can. Like, this behavior right now is tends to be what annoys me. Notice how long we're spending standing in this choke point. And I want to sort of mention that there is cover here. That this is cover. This entire area, like over here, is cover. Through this doorway is cover. This doorway here is cover. This area over here is cover. Like, if I get a thin brush and yellow, and it's like any area where the enemy team cannot shoot us. All of this space, they can't shoot us. All of this space, they can't shoot us. And so we just sort of spend so much time in areas where the enemy team can just shoot at us. Instead, like, why are we moving back here? What's making us move back here? Nothing. The Winston jumped forward, but who gives a shit? It's a Winston. Just kill him. Like, this is where we need to be moving forward, moving to areas where we have better line of sight, better vantage points. This is what we're doing now, but it's that sluggishness that sort of always worries me. Soldier gets attack visor, gets nano boosted. Might have an easy time cleaning up here. Might not. Hey, with a res as well. Barrier comes out just in time to save us from the high noon by the looks of things. Might not just be there, but close enough. Cut through the barrier, good, just maintain the fight. Emergency barrier on Reinhardt. People fighting around health packs. Hey, this is looking somewhat positive. Enemy team vastly overextending for a high charge Zarya. I like the fact that we're using line of sight to get cover here. Zarya is very, very powerful if you're ducking in and out of line of sight because you have regenerating shield, so you just have to wait a little while and you're going to get 200 health, which is pretty huge. Hey! Popped up wizard. Tier 2 sub. Beautiful. Much love, my man. That's a fresh sub as well. It's worth mentioning that it is September. All those players out. September is a promotion done by Twitch as well, so your first, if you haven't subbed to me before, or I haven't subbed in the last 32 days, then your first sub will be half price, which is pretty fucking cool. And it's still a normal sub to me, which is really cool. And it's half price across all the tiers as well. So it's pretty fucking neat. I quite like it. Go figure. I benefit from it. Makes sense, right? Anyway. This is a punished Lucio, definitely. Don't like the fact that we changed targets here. This is something I've noticed about lower ranked Lucios. Hey, Slaven! Okay, that's a Twitch Prime sub, which, you know, that one's free anyway. But thank you so much, Slaven. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's good to have you on board. This is something I've noticed about low-ranked Lucios. They have a weird habit of doing this. Like, what is he doing? He's been watching too much Stanky. Like, even if that boop hit the Reinhardt, what's he actually doing? What? So yeah, you absolutely chase that Lucio down and just hold left mouse button on him. Put tons of pressure on him. Hurt him for that. He deserves it. He wants to be hurt for that. He's goddamn masochist. Get back in there. Let's get stuck in. We're a Zarya on high charge. We want to be stuck in. Hey, ISB 15. Thank you so much, my man.
Love the videos, my man. After all the help you've given out, I can finally give back to you.
Much love. Thank you so much. Does actually make a huge difference. So, thank you. I always read your name is Imperial Security Bureau as well. Good on the Lucio. A little bit early on the grav, but still gets an important target, but still. One advice I'll give regarding graviton surges and large targets is that grav likes to get stuck on things. And so, like, the Winston being so in our face just means it just gets completely stuck on the Winston. Which, you know, it's not a bad thing, but we could have, say, like, grabbed the back wall here and got Winston and Roadhog. Makes it very easy for your team. Also would stop anyone coming in reinforcement-wise. We could have put it more towards the middle or on the dome. You know, there's better places for this grab. If there's a Winston in your face, usually don't grab. Reload, kill the turret. Good lad. I like the fact that you've... Okay. We did a good thing and then we did a bad thing. Okay, so Reinhardt's gone that way. You know that there's like 2 people here. Anything coming out of spawn, like, is going to hit these 2 guys. So they're probably going to come this way. So I was about to say, I like the fact that we're run this way, because it's a good division of labor. You don't need more people watching this side, you need more people watching this side. And then we instantly go back on it, where it's sort of... like... We sort of go that way, and then we go back this way, and then we go back this way, when we could have just been there to catch that Lucio. Put some extra damage on. Boops are fun. Boops are fun, but booping something for no reason and then dying, kind of annoying. So what amuses me now is this. This is the twist. This is the shocking drama of this game. This is why this video is like another 15 minutes. This is why there is still so much more to this. Because despite these two's best efforts, this is actually still a close game. And what ends up happening, according to the description at the very least, is that the 2 people that were trolling start taking it seriously. Now, you might think, oh, well, he said he's sorry. Surely that excuses it. Does it fuck? Does it fuck? You came in here with the intention to ruin 4 people's match. Well, not even 4 people, 10 people's game. You wanted to waste about 20-25 minutes of 10 people's lives that could have been spent doing something else, having more fun. You guys are the exact fucking problem with Overwatch at the moment. You guys are the kind of shit we want out of the community. Doesn't excuse it. You still report these guys for being cocks. This guy seems to be pretty good at getting charge. Being fair, it's not difficult to get charge against an Orisa Torbjorn. That's part of why Zarya is so strong against it. It's part of why Zarya is so strong against Junkrats as well.
Welcome to Overwatch, Monsieur.
Hey, thank you, Floor.
Just joined and you seem happy. D.
Hey, hello, Fuller Pluto. It's ironic you should say that. Due to the discussion had at the start of this stream. Anyway. Train of thought. Yeah, part of the reason why you're seeing a resurgence in Zarya, especially because Junkrat's is back in the meta, Orisa has sort of had a resurgence as well. I blame Sty purely for that one. Torbjorn, seeing more action in the meta because Orisa's powerful. So you're seeing more of these Orisa Torb comps, so getting charged on Zarya is actually very easy. If you're Zarya and you have like 70% average energy, you're technically playing like 1.5 heroes at that point. You're playing a tank and a DPS at the same time. Like, if you think about how Zarya is balanced at probably like a median charge of like 50%. So if your average charge is higher, you're technically playing an overpowered hero. And if you are playing into situations where you can have that overpowered hero, yeah, it's strong. Which is sort of why, you know, let's go over an important concept that I talk about quite a lot when we're doing Coaching the Many with Zarya, which is the 3 steps of Zarya, the 3 phases of Zarya. Atomics is left. Oh, it's just disaster after disaster. Judging by the fact that this guy hasn't been trolling, he's probably going to try and get back into the game. Do not panic when stuff like this happens. Let's talk about the 3 stages of Zarya, where we had this lovely graphic with the flashbang. Step 1, building. So you have building, you have maintaining, and then, I shouldn't have done this in yellow, alts. So building, maintaining, and ultimate. So these are the 3 stages of Zarya, right? Right now, I would say that we are in maintaining. Building is basically, and what these stages actually mean, what they actually represent, is like your mindsets and how you're going to deploy your barriers and how you're going to use your abilities, and how you're also going to sort of position yourself and play. When you are building, you want to be more aggressive at points when you have your barriers up, because your sole objective is to get charge, is to get to sort of where we're at now, like 60% charge-ish. then you can actually start doing things. But until you hit that point, you're actually quite weak. You're not actually going to be able to do too much. So right now we're slipping back into this building phase. We're running forward, putting our barrier up, taking a bunch of damage. Okay, now we're going to fall back, have someone else in front of us. Okay, now they're going to build. Okay, now we can wait for our cooldowns, and now we can start maintaining, which is basically we're going to be playing in a more normal style. We're going to use our projected barrier, especially as more of a, you know, stuff to stop roadhogs, to stop ultimates and diva bombs, to protect people that perhaps need it. You know, we're going to be a lot more selective about how we're going to use these barriers. So basically, when building, your goal is to try and build, basically. Your goal is to try and use these barriers purely as a way of getting charged. You're going to put them on Reinhardt, you're going to put them on anyone charging forward. All this kind of stuff. You're going to be focused on doing that. When you're in maintaining, that's when your barriers are more to protect people, to save lives, to protect yourself. You're mostly just looking to, you know, make sure you don't drop below about 60% charge. That's when you start flipping back to building. But otherwise, you're looking more to do damage. You're looking more to put right clicks in. You're looking more for opportunities to actually do the work as Zarya. When you have your ultimate, then you're positioning more for your ultimate, just trying to set up grabs, trying to get rid of divas, trying to get rid of Genjis, stuff like that. Let's go over this push. 71% average energy. Like, pretty insane. Let's go all the way back to the start of this push. Okay, maybe not this far back. Alright, so the important thing to remember at the moment is that you are one person down. There's the big red square in the center of your screen is telling you. Luckily, the enemy team is also really badly overextended. Your Lucio should be on speed boost at the moment, by the way. Because the best thing you can do right now is to like slam into these guys who are trying to retreat. If you can catch them up and kill them, you're in a really solid position. Like, their Lucio's in speed boost, so they get back in time to start setting up. But we should be playing aggressive here. So we roll in aggressively, good. Build back up a charge, step back, let the McCree get in front of us. This is why when me and Ryan play together, you'll hear me say to Ryan, I'm with you. Or, you know, I'm ready. So Ryan will move forward. Like, the ideal with Zarya is like a slingshot, where Zarya, let's do Zarya in pink. Or magenta. So Zarya goes forward, bubbles, takes damage, and then Zarya will fall back, and then other person will go forward and get the bubble. And so this second person will act as a tank for the Zarya, while Zarya can then start shooting and doing damage. So it's like it's like a leapfrog, where you want to alternate with each other of, okay, Zarya's taking damage, okay, now the other person's taking damage. Zarya's taking damage, other person, Zarya, other person, Zarya, other person. The most extreme example of this is when you're playing with a Reinhardt and the Zarya runs in front of the Reinhardt barrier. Takes some damage, then goes behind Reinhardt, in front, behind, in front, behind, in front, behind. But you can do this with any hero. Doing it with Doomfist is actually really strong, because it means that Doomfist can be more aggressive for a little while. Okay, tanks are getting in position. It's a bit of a strange commitment. We seem a little bit lost at this point. Big thing at the moment is just shoot what you can shoot. Like, let's just start putting pressure on this Winston. If you clear the Winston off the point, everything else kind of has to follow. And as long as, like, if you break down the threats that we can see at the moment, there's a Soldier 76 on high ground shooting at us, which is kind of annoying. Let's get off the blue. Soldier 76 is kind of annoying at the moment, and there's a Winston on the point. To beat this, all Reinhardt has to do is stand in front of your team, block the Soldier 76, and then you all focus on killing the Winston. So it just takes us a moment or two, but we do start doing it. Not the biggest fan of this grav. Stopping this Winston being an annoying git is somewhat useful. But again, the grav up here to sort of catch the soldier, for example, would have been even nicer. Or to catch more people. Like, there are better value gravs than just the Winston. And you guys are not in the position quite yet where killing that Winston immediately even guarantees you anything. So, bit of a wasted opportunity with the grav. Just a little bit too early. This is going to be the most useless piece of advice I ever give, but it hopefully puts things into context with decision making regarding Graviton Surge. Graviton Surge is a teamfight winning ultimate, and you want it to win your teamfight for you. Sounds fucking stupid to say, right? Sounds super obvious to say. What fucking use is that, Josh? How is telling people, yeah, you want to win the fight with Graviton in any way useful? Well, let's apply this. Let's apply this logic to our grav here. Does killing this Winston win you the game, basically? If you win this team fight properly, you win the game. Does this Graviton win you the game? The answer is no. It kills the Winston pretty, like, 99.9% of the time this Winston is going to die as a result of people focusing it, and burning it. 1,000 hit points without armor is actually not that much to burn through, especially when we're on this high charge. This is a pretty easy kill. It means the Winston also can't kill anyone else. It means the Winston can't do anything, but it doesn't win the fight. And that's sort of the key problem here, is that the impact this Graviton Surge has on winning the fight is actually pretty small. Graviton Surge is an ultimate that is so powerful that if a Graviton Surge's impact is small, it's usually a questionable Graviton. And that's sort of the way I try and contextualize it in my head, is after a team fight, if the Graviton Surge killed one person and that person wasn't like a fucking nano-boosted Genji, probably not worth it. Probably not worth it.
Let's get patched up.
Barriers on you.
Yeah, let's start muscling forward. Like, this is nicer. Like, you muscle in, you take control of the areas where you have, like, line of sight and safety. And, like, the thing is, you don't have to back away here. So, if you think about what this Winston has just done from, let's draw the map. Okay, so you got the gateway here. So, this is the doorway. This is sort of where we are now. The pit's over here. Behind these guys, there's like the little tunnel thing here. Then you have like this area here, and there's the room here, whatever. You're tearing me apart, Lisa. It's the room. Get it? It's a joke. And then you got like the line of sighty thing here, whatever. Not to scale. I guess if we close this off and then like the doorway's actually over here, whatever. Doesn't really matter too much. The Winston has parked himself here. This is Winston. Hello, I'm Winston. Hi there. If your team just all stands in like this area and this area, what the fuck can the enemy team do? Nothing. They're all stood like 3 miles this way, holding the point. They're all stood all over here. This Winston is dead. This Winston is DED dead. Like we just kill the Winston. It's simple. It's the easiest thing you've ever done. So there's actually no need to back away from this. There's no need to sort of run away. You've got 3 people here fighting against one Winston who's all on his own. Just kill him. Just kill him. Stay out of line of sight of the enemy team. Just kill him. This Winston is badly overextended. Needs to be punished for it. The worst thing you could do is, this Winston is trying to take space, but he can't actually do it on his own. Like, he has to have the Lucio run out to fish him out, so then we can start putting pressure on the Lucio. If our accuracy was a little bit nicer, something to work on. Just keep you calm, realize that this Lucio is now super vulnerable. He's had to commit amp it up as well. Save the Reinhardt from his own stupidity. They've just used sound barrier. That's fucking great for us, because honestly, we haven't even really started fighting yet, and they've used sound barrier. That's great. Maintain pressure. Just keep pressuring. Keep shooting, keep shooting, keep shooting, keep shooting. Reinhardt's died. Not too big a deal. Let's start putting impact on this Genji. Okay, our team's starting to die. We're okay backing up. Just try and hold here. Punish this Genji. Don't panic. Just keep calm. Keep calm, keep calm, keep calm. Keep shooting. We don't want to sort of go too hard. It looks like we're back on full 6 as well, which is good. Don't go in here, don't go in here, don't go in here. We're doing what the Winston did before if we go in here. Just back away, back away, back away. So the problem that we're facing right now is that we are completely separated from our team. We've stayed in this area a bit too long. Like, punishing this Genji is one thing, but when the Lucio comes to fish him out, start doing damage, and then, like, this is either the time where we... What I would probably recommend at this point, what will be going through my head, is to back out and try and regroup with the rest of my team. Zarya on her own is not very useful. If you've ever tried to play Zarya in free-for-all, you'll probably know this. Zarya sucks on her own. She's kind of shit. So, yeah, we want to try and regroup with the rest of our team. If not, our team needs to push through middle, but it looks like they're not going to do that. They're going to go around the back, which is fair enough. It's fine. The only sad part right now is that we have to cross across the enemy team to actually get to our team. So we're kind of completely isolated here. And you notice, like, we're afraid now to poke out because we have no support. We poke out here, everyone's just going to focus on us. And that goes a bit nuts. I like the fact that we shifted our target prio. Tactical Vise goes off, we see the D.Va, we take out the D.Va. Frees up Soldier 76 to do his job. We want to be careful about that, yeah. Good job getting in here. Good job by your team as well. I understand the desperation we're feeling right now, which is to bubble this soldier. We still should be shooting the Genji at this point, and then bubbling the soldier the first chance we get. Good, 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 good. Okay, we have a grav. No. So, interesting thing about mercies. Interesting things about mercies. The most half-hearted and sad joke. I know. I don't like predictable humor. So, the thing about Mercy is this. Zarya was buffed so that people can no longer escape from her graviton surge. They can no longer use abilities that let them move out. But Mercy's resurrect makes her immortal, and as long as she can resurrect people, it's still fine. The weird thing there is, like, it's the understanding that she's going to get that res off, no matter what you do. You know, we're fighting. Actually, this is... Let's go do about here. Back up a little bit. Okay. Like, you can see where the Lucio died, and you can see where the Genji died, so you know that the corpse is, like, there's a corpse literally right here. By the time she's reached here, like, res is going off. At this point, you just shoot, and then after the res is done, you put the grav here, and then you just kill everything coming out of the grav. Coming out the res. Grav is actually a really great counter to resurrect, because you basically, like, everyone's just been picked up in a small area, and then you just pull them together again, you just kill them over. The worst thing to happen is this. Now our target focus has gone a little bit to shit as well. We seem a little bit lost and a little bit desperate, which is a bit of a shame. So I want to highlight that even though we're on 100% charge, it's still kind of tricky for us to out DPS Mercy's healing. Like, you need to have really fucking good tracking to be able to do it. And our tracking is not perfect. At this point, like, fighting here, like, we're shooting a Soldier 76 who's getting healed as fast as he's taking damage. Like, this is a really good example. If our tracking was better, we could maybe do it. It'll be difficult, but it's doable. What I would suggest is shoot the Soldier 76, but while you're shooting him, move this way. And shoot the fucking Mercy instead. Like, get rid of the Mercy, and then you can start dismantling the other supports, and then you can dismantle Soldier. Just trying to do what we're doing here, it's not really going to work. The unfortunate part now is that we have no more fights. We played most of this game 5 versus 6. We had some good attempts. Target focus needs a little bit of work. Grabs need some work. Now we're kind of forced into staying on the point. Why are we backing away? You can't afford to back away this much. Again, target priority seems very spotty. Right, what are we shooting at here? So we're moving in, we move to the Zarya, and then we seem uncertain, and then we move to the Soldier, and then we're kind of shooting between the Soldier and the Mei. We're splitting the difference. We're trying to shoot them both, and we're shooting the average. If you're shooting the mean, it doesn't actually do anything. We should be looking for the Lucio and Mercy at this point. We can kill them very, very quickly, so we should be trying to find them because we're on such high charge. But if we just barrel down on them, then they're going to die or going to be forced out of the fight. Team decides to focus on the Soldier. We help finish him off. Okay, fair enough. Let's get this grav. I would have liked a little bit more checking first. Like, grav is really an ultimate that you cannot rush. And what I want to point out is when this res comes through, where most of the enemy team is. We get the kill on the Mei. Mercy's dive to the left. Look at all these people. We're on 95% of the grav, so we have completely the correct idea that the game-winning move at the moment is to build up Graviton Surge and then kill everything. We get Graviton Surge and we just dump it in the middle. Instead of putting it somewhere where it's going to catch absolutely everybody, we put it somewhere where it's only going to get 1 or 2 people. It would have just been nice just to take a moment, you know, there's no huge rush. You could take a second or 2 there, find a better spot for the grav, and then get it off instead of just rushing. what's weird is the enemy team, like, you know, their target focus is pretty terrible as well. They should have had way more, like, the second you are low, they should be putting kill pressure on you.
Prepare your defenses. Select your hero.
Because they're just letting like a 100% charged Zarya run around and kill everything.
Together we are strong.
Nothing's gonna stop.
I want to also mention this. I want to show you guys this. Chris. This is one of Cruz's emotes. Cruz. He's a beautiful person. Is it power? Yeah. Whoop. This is Christopher, one of the members of Team UK, who had a very flattering picture taken of him, and it just looks so good. It just looks so good as an emote. Huh. Right. So, no more Sombra. We have a Hanzo and a Lucio. We have a Hanzo and an Ana. I will never be keen on the Hanzo, people know this. Let's see. Lucio preparing for a boop, we're preparing to bail him out. Good. Bubble, good. Got stuck in the corner. We're okay, we're okay. I'm fine with that bubble, by the way. It just purges the Discord orb, which is important. Let's get into cover. Okay, good. Good, 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 good. Good punishment of this guy. We should be turning. Turn. So the problem with what we're doing at the moment is that you tried to kill a Reinhardt with 2 healers. Look how long this is taking. During all this time, you could be doing way more. Like there's so many things. So many things happening in this. Did you see contenders? United did not look very good. I have not. But I heard the results. Kind of a shame. I don't know. United need to fucking pull it together. United know this. Like, they're an intelligent team. They've been playing together a long time. I'm sure they'll bounce back. Okay. First things first. Like, your Reinhardt dies. That's fucking terrible for you guys. It's awful for you guys. Their Reinhardt whiffs his charge. Okay. We spot out a free Genji kill. We hunt him down a little bit. He dashes away. Okay, fair enough. Now we're getting pushed back. Your team should be falling back too. And you guys should basically be preparing for like phase 2 of our Sky defense, which is, okay, let's try and hold this area around the point. The healers are here. Your team is getting isolated on this left side. So what I would be suggesting is we should be pulling towards the rest of the team. Like, we need to regroup and we need to be pulling this way so that we can get to these 2 guys. Because right now our team is basically split to 2 to 3 and all the supports are with you. That's not necessarily the worst situation in the world because, hey, we're fucking monsters. But still, the Reinhardt charges in. We get a lot of good damage on him. Okay, fine. Perfectly fine with us trying to take a surround on him as well. Put a lot of damage onto him. The second that you see this heal beam come into play, this is when you know that this is sort of a wasted effort. This Reinhardt is out of position. He's not protecting anything. He's not doing anything really threatening at this point. If he tries to do too much at the moment, the Lucio and the Ana can sort of keep him penned in. Sleep dart, boop, like boop almost kills him. But this Reinhardt is actually a complete pain in your dick at the moment. You cannot afford to sort of spend 3 weeks trying to fight this guy. When there's a juicy Mercy and a juicy Zenyatta somewhere nearby. Just to the left here. Hey, Mercy's coming in for free. Why are we shooting? There we go. There we go. Okay. Enemy team is pulling back. We could play aggressively here. Like, you're giving the enemy team time to be aggressive. The Reinhardt and the Lucio and you should probably actually just be advancing on these guys. It's 2 supports and a Soldier 76 against 2 tanks and a Lucio. I think the odds are in your favor at the moment. Like, you are so high TR. And a McCree as well. So yeah, we can just start pushing forward. Don't be afraid to, when a Zenyatta is hitting you and you can, like, Discord orb, don't be afraid to bubble just to post the Discord. It makes it way harder for the Zen to deal with you. You can start putting pressure on the Soldier 76, for example, pushing forward. If the Soldier 76 runs away and hides, remember, your shields are going to regenerate. Like, What's your health? Like, I know we pick up a health pack, but hey, look, it's all regenerating. Isn't that cool? Isn't that really neat? Zarya does that. So anytime you spend out of combat, this is why Zarya snowballs so heavily, is because she just kills people and then regenerates, kills people, regenerates, kills people, regenerates. It's not like you grind her down. And while she bubbles up, she's also going to regenerate, so it's really difficult to get rid of her. Now's the time to be considering our grav. Okay, the Sombra has gone off. Safe. Again, we've grabbed with a Winston on our face, but doesn't seem to matter too much. All their support ultimates. I'd be thinking about, good. I was about to say, I'll be thinking about bubbling the McCree, because I'm pretty sure he's going to have high noon. Keep calm, keep you cool. Now notice how friggin' powerful we are. Like, this feels like panic. Like, you know, the adrenaline's pumping, everything's going, you know, your brain's going fucking nuts. It's like, oh my god, we're actually doing this, we're doing this, we're doing this. Just keep you cool. Keep calm. We're swinging wildly. McGriff used high noon already? Okay, fair enough. Even then, it's still probably a good idea. Maybe on the Ana instead. Like, once the Nano goes onto him, he's probably okay, so maybe on the Ana. Like, what it feels like at the moment is we're getting a bit overwhelmed. Like, there's, you know, it's this thing, you know, of, oh, there's so many targets, I want them all. And then we panic, like, we're looking at this Winston for some reason. Who gives a shit about Winston when there's a fucking Zen, there's a Genji, there's a Soldier, there's a Mercy. We can kill all these targets. Look how fast the Zen melts if we just keep the crosshair on him. It's kind of insanity. So yeah. McGriff? Yeah, McGriff. McGruff. Magoon. That guy.
Give me another shot.
No big deal if you end up losing this point anyway. No, the key thing here is to just keep calm. You can defend second point of Sky for 3 minutes. You can defend it for 7 minutes. It's still perfectly doable. This is where your team needs to regroup. Reinhardt needs to not be doing this. Reinhardt, where are you going? Reinhardt! Oh no. We have an Alzheimer's Reinhardt. It's tragic, really. It's when Reinhardt's gone a bit, you know, he's getting on in his years, and he's got his slippers on in his bathrobe, and he thought that he'd go out and get some cigarettes, and that it's still the 1960s, and that he's decided to walk down the street, and then he's just wandered off, and next thing you know, he's like 3 miles away from home and completely lost. That's what our Reinhardt was doing. And it breaks your heart to see. It really does break your heart to see this once fucking heroic figure just wandering off to the fucking horizon for no reason. What's the plan here, Ryan? Where are you going, lad? Where are you going, friend? We need you back here. Oh shit, yeah, the point's just been flipped. Oh fuck. What was I doing? It's bingo back at the point. Come on, let's go. Poor lad. Okay, we save him. Okay. Back away. Building phase. So we can posture somewhat aggressively. Let's take a little bit of damage. Back off. Let's not go around this corner, ever. The important thing to remember about playing in building phase, when we're trying to build up more charge, is that you always want to have a line of sight to sort of block damage with. So if you're fighting around this corner, pull in here and then start pulling back. Or even better, play around the... I mean, I call it the penis. Play around the penis. The reason why it's called a penis is because if you draw the silhouette of it, if Zarya's gun gets out of the way, and we actually get a good look at it, which we might in a second. Good enough. I mean, it's shaped like this, right? It's the penis. So if you play around the penis, perfectly fine. Because it's very easy to sort of block line of sight. Very good spot for Roadhog as well. It's a... Okay. Some ultimates stack extremely well. Some ultimates are superb to stack. Diva Bomb and Graviton. Diva Bomb and Earthshatter. Graviton Surge and Earthshatter are fine to stack. Earthshatter and Graviton Surge are not. Why? Ooh. 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 Okay. So this is a fucking peach of an ultimate from Reinhardt. The reason why Grav... Okay, let me make this distinction important. Grav G plus E is it's good. It's okay. It's, you know, it's not the greatest, but it's good. It's necessary sometimes. E plus G is bad. The reason why is both ultimates serve the same purpose, okay? Both Graviton Surge and Earthshatter serve exactly the fucking same purpose in the larger scope of the game. Graviton Surge and Earthshatter both set up the enemy team to be killed easily. In this instance, the enemy team is set up to be killed easily. You have 1 target on the floor, 2 targets on the floor, 3 targets on the floor. I think this is a 4th target on the floor here that's dead. 4 targets, all easy to kill. All super easy to kill. We don't need to Graviton Surge them to make them any easier to kill. I mean, sure, it would be nice to sweep them all into a nice little pile, but it's not really necessary. We can just hold left mouse button and kill this, kill this, kill this. By the time the Earthshatter is done, most of the team's already dead. By stopping firing, we actually let the Mercy stand back up and get the Resurrect off that picks everyone else back up, and then by the time the res is finished, everyone's already free and loose. We just threw the game. With one sort of very fundamental error, which is G plus E is good. The reason why Graviton Surge plus Earthshatter is okay is because sometimes in Graviton Surge, people are using defensive abilities. People are able to stop stuff, and by stunning them, you stop them using these defensive abilities. It stops them, like if a Reinhardt manages to get past the enemy Reinhardt, it can bring down a barrier. You can stop a Mercy using a res. You could stop Zenyatta using a Transcendence, for example. There's a whole host of reasons why. Like, there's things to get out of the Grav. It didn't stop ammo as empty, then reloading and keep on shooting would have been better. You would probably still be able to kill them. Like, you can't stack those 2 ultimates in that way. It's not efficient. If the Earthshatter is that good, so what goes through my head is if an Earthshatter is that good, you don't need the Grav, and so all the Grav is doing is it's like trying to steal play of the game, right? Like, Reinhardt gets this fucking peach of an Earthshatter, everyone's done, and then you grab it for some reason. You don't need it, it's unnecessary. Some people say as well, yeah, like, let's talk about Zarya DPS, just very quickly. There's a brilliant clip, I wonder if I can actually find this, and show you guys like 5 seconds of it. I'm sure if I use the right search term, like when I describe the South term, South Korean Zarya girl. This some shitty channel that reposts other people's content. So this chick, didn't even say chick, this woman, plays Zarya, and this was sort of one of the first people playing Zarya in like a really aggressive way. You can see like this, I think this footage might even be from beta, I can't even remember. It's quite old. But you watch how she fights with Zarya. Right click, left clicks, and then usually a right click to finish. Depends on like how much damage she's actually doing, but it's left click, right click, left click, and then right click to finish. Right click, sets up, there, perfect example. The most efficient way to do DPS with Zarya, because it's a chunk of burst, stable damage, stable damage, stable damage, and then another chunk of burst. So, dunk, dunk, dunk. Completely clean, completely perfect. Season 2-ish, yeah, this was a while ago, but it's still as true then as it is now. Or as true now as it was then. Like, this is such pure Zarya play that it fucking boggles the mind, and that's fairly textbook Grav, to be honest. But it's watching the stuff like the right click, left click, and right click follow-ups are really, really, really good. Right click, left click, right click. Right click, left click, right click. And the thing with right clicks as well, now you can see as the target gets low, she starts swapping to right clicks to try and blow them up. Very, very, very good gameplay. And the reason why is Zarya's ammo counter is a bit funky. If you have, so you have 100 out of 100, right? 100 out of 100. If you fire your right click, I believe it's 25 ammo. So you use a quarter ammo. So you have 4 right clicks for every single clip. But the interesting thing is, if you have 0, 0, 1 out of 100, and you fire a right click, it's still a right click. It's still just as powerful as if you had 25 out of 100, or if you had 100 out of 100. All of these right clicks are exactly the same. Equals, equals, equals. Like, they're all equal to each other. And so if you start running low on ammo, finishing up with a right click is always really efficient. A couple of pros quit over that, yes. A couple of pros claim that if she wasn't hacking, they would quit, so she recorded herself playing, and hey, she wasn't hacking. As in, she actually had the camera on her mouse, keyboard and stuff, and it all matched up. And so they quit. Also works with Zen and Symmetra. Zen, I don't think so. With Zen, if you have like... Because Zen actually like counts the orbs that you charge. It basically like pre-fires them. And so if you try and do it with Zen, but you have fewer orbs, then I think they just fire off early, don't they? Like, you can't full charge on one bullet. But you can fire faster, I think. It's a bit strange. Because like holding the right mouse button fires off the one orb faster than if you had a bunch. It's strange. Woke up the sleeping monkey. Not a big deal. Like a fight this clusterfucky. Yeah, a fight this clusterfucky, waking the sleeping monkey is inevitable. Don't worry about that. Don't overthink that. We're right to focus the Zen. We're turning a little bit too early here, so let's talk about Zarya fight priority. This is more like getting a feel for the rhythm. This just comes with practice. You're basically looking to deploy your bubble, so it's basically like the way you should think of it is like personal bubble, fight, 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 projected bubble, personal bubble, fight, fight, fight. Like, there should be these moments of like, these are barriers. But all the time your barriers are on cooldown, you should be fighting. F. Like, these are period F. And we should just be focused on fighting. So when your barriers are coming off cooldown, that's when you turn around, you start looking for stuff to barrier. And that's when your fighting might even stop. So you might like even, you know, you might have periods like this where you're literally just not even fighting anymore, but you're just looking to barrier. These thicker periods where you're not fighting, you're just hunting for barriers. And that's sort of the way you've got to think of it. But make sure you're trying to maximize the amount of time you're fighting, because you could be rushing down this Mercy, for example. Like, it's weird because we start pulling back from her. Like, why are we pulling back here? Why is this motion happening here where we're going back? Why aren't we just running forward and putting pressure on this Mercy? If she keeps hitting the Zen, you can turn and kill the Zen. Like, you got 2 juicy free kills over here, and then all this fighting back here, all you have to do is turn around in 3 seconds, put a bubble on someone, and then keep fighting over here. Like, we don't need to do this big, complicated movement where we're putting distance between ourselves and the supports who want to have distance between ourselves and the supports. We don't want to do that. We don't need to do that. And it's like, we give up 2 supports to go and chase around a Winston. Just seems a bit strange to me. And you might be thinking, well, you know, isn't it the tank's job to peel for the supports? Yeah, but if you can kill both their supports way faster than a Winston can kill yours, do it. Like, their tanks then have to peel for you. It's kind of this strange thing where, like, the Winston does slower DPS than us, so us peeling for the Winston is completely backwards. The Winston has to peel to deal with us. If the Winston's not fucking stopping us, we're going to kill everyone. Once the supports are dead, we can kill the Winston. No problem. Yes, you can. Check after CTM. Okay, I will. Beauty of it. Do not right click for the. Do not queue. Do not. Okay, now you can queue. No, 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 no. Come on. We get slightly lucky in that the Dragon Strike kills everything. I say slightly lucky. It's a good Dragon Strike. Come on. Okay. The Earth Shatter is a peach. The Earth Shatter is beautiful again. Catches everyone. Everyone dies. Res goes off. All you have to do is take 2 steps forward and press Q here. You get this, you get this, you get this. Probably get the Winston as well. This ends the fight instantly. There's 30 seconds left on the clock. These guys have 10 seconds to respawn, 20 seconds to get back on the point. They're going to have to dash for it. you win. Luckily, the Dragon Strike kind of ends up doing the job, regardless, but the Dragon Strike would have gone through where our Grav should have been. Now, on the right side, we do have a Grav to sort of finish up the game, so, you know, we have that going for us, but we could have stopped any chance they had of contesting here. Keep Grav for overtime. The reason why I call that into question is because there's a good chance that this is the last fight regardless. So, we do not know that a Dragon Strike is coming through here. And there is no guarantee that a Dragon Strike kills everyone anyway. So let me play out the possible sequences of events for you. Just to sort of make my case crystal clear. Our Shadow goes through. Everyone's stunned. We end up killing everyone. Mercy gets a really good res. They have sunken a lot of ults. At this point, enemy team is going to re-engage. Our main tank is out of position. They might still have ultimates in the tank. They might still have a number of things. They might still have a number of ways of swinging this battle into a win. They are still engaging. They're still engaging pretty hard. We have no idea that a Dragon Strike is coming through. We have no idea what ults we have available. If like our team doesn't commit a Dragon Strike and they don't end up killing, the Dragon Strike doesn't end up killing anything, there is a chance that our Reinhardt dies, our McCree can die because he's quite far out of position, our Lucio can die because he's quite far out of position, and there's a number of things that can go wrong extremely quickly here. The enemy team is relatively grouped. They can fight very, very effectively, kill, and then win the game. We could still hold on to the Grav and maybe see how it goes, but honestly, with 30 seconds left on the clock, you give them 20 seconds to run the length of Volskaya Industries, to run through your entire team, and then you just kill them as they come in. I would say the Grav confirms the win at this point. You would be left fighting a Winston, who you could even stagger, and maybe a Pharah, who you could also stagger. Now you can see, even with people dying, you lose the McCree, and then people still struggle dealing with this Pharah. I would say take the Grav there. That was interesting. Finish off the target on the point. Then you got to deal with the Winston. Fire somewhere. There we go. Now notice the flying platform brought Mercy to die. Yep. I hope you still reported these two people. They were terrible. They were problematic. They are part of the problem with Overwatch. They almost caused you to quit the game. They thought they were being funny and trolly and lol, we're so witty, look, oh Sombra, why didn't you res, lol. Ugh. And like, don't get caught in the elation. You guys could have won that way easier if you had a proper first defense as well. These guys just tried to hold your game hostage. They deserve no mercy. Right. Okay. So, what I would say to Colonel Pacanel. Hello, Colonel Pacanel. Things you should be doing. Target priority seems definitely the biggest. You seem to have a good grasp of at least using the phases. Also, pushing and taking territory. When you're on high charge, do not be afraid to push into areas and take space for your team. You cannot really be challenged very well if you are moving into areas such as Volskaya first point. So you have the choke here, you have the penis over here, and you have like the door over here. And then there's like a thing here as well. Like, don't be afraid to push into this space. The space is extremely powerful. If you take this over, it's actually very, very good for your team. There's a health pack over here and all this shit as well. Like, getting through this choke point is the important thing. Do not get bogged down fighting this area, because that's just sitting there waiting for the enemy team to shoot you guys to death. Push in, take control of this area. You can then push around, you can push through this way. You have tons and tons of options. It's very, very powerful. So yeah, be decisive when you're on high charge. Other than that, Gravs seem shaky. Like, do not be afraid in a team fight just to take a second, just to look before you fire it, and then go with that. 40 high charge kills, yeah. The enemy team fed the shit out of you, which is always lovely. It's nice. Very, very useful. Other than that, what I would say is just keep practicing your tracking. Don't be afraid to use right clicks more to finish targets off or set targets up. So open with a right click, right click combo. Very, very powerful, especially on low hit point heroes. Pay attention to, like, if you're fighting a tank, if 2 people are healing it, you probably want to change target at that point. And don't be afraid to rush down the enemy supports. Other than that, yeah, it wasn't too bad. Like, I was honestly surprised at how alright it looked for someone in silver. A good job not, like, falling into the bait of these guys. Fortunately, it doesn't look like you reported them. As they needed reporting. Because they almost completely ruined the game. With their stupid, pedantic bullshit. Right, now it's time for people to start asking questions. Ask questions about Zarya, Toxicity, Graviton Surges, Ultimates, Volskaya, whatever you please. I'm going to open up the game, and then we'll start taking questions. Ah.